Hey everybody, welcome to the BoomTube. I'm your host, Patrick Feliciano, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that has been on my mind ever since I saw it. It's the most anticipated thing I've been wanting to see my entire life. And because we're having a party tonight and I'm drinking, I felt like, why not? Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. I'm not going to have any spoilers in this, so it's spoiler free. Tonight I'm just going to talk about the things that I liked, what I didn't like, and what I hope is going to happen for the future. So the first things I liked about Batman v Superman, Ben Affleck was great. He was probably the closest thing I've seen to the comic books in live action in a film than any other I've seen before. He was brutal, he was violent, he was more detective-like than in Christian Bale's interpretation in the Christopher Nolan's verse, and I love that. And he was scary too. It was awesome that he was so scary. There are character flaws for sure within the character, but you overlook it because Ben Affleck, you can tell, is putting his all within the character. I was thinking he's Bruce Wayne and he's Batman, and that's actually one thing. Everyone praises Christian Bale as Batman, and the thing I loved is he was a great Bruce Wayne. Batman was alright. The one thing that bugged me about Christopher Nolan's Batman was that after training for so long and then being Batman for about a year and a half, he kind of wanted to give up. And that's not true to the essence of Batman. What I believe, Batman is Batman. Bruce Wayne's the mask. That's the cover that he shows everyone else. Batman can't stop being Batman. And in this world, he couldn't stop being Batman. And it was awesome. I'm going to move on to now Superman. Superman was great. I actually thought Henry Cavill captured Superman a little more in this than he did in Man of Steel. That he actually liked being Superman and he was trying to show the public what he's trying to do, you know? And I love that about his character. You can tell he really cares. I think it was way better than Brandon Routh's interpretation, that's for sure. That was so dull. Seeing a character actually smile when he's saving people was great. Now, Gal Gadot, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Gal Gadot. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name. She was actually really good as Wonder Woman. She didn't have a lot of screen time, but when she was on screen, she was actually pretty good. And it made me excited to see her in the Wonder Woman film because I think she has so much potential. And she seemed strong and powerful and confident, and that's what I loved about her portrayal as Wonder Woman for as little as she was on screen. That's what I loved about the movie, the characters themselves. Now, on to the bad things about the movie. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I didn't buy it. I can tell what he was trying to do, and I appreciated it, but it also really annoyed me. It didn't fit within this world they were trying to create. It seemed like a cartoon caricature version of Lex Luthor that they were trying to just toss in here. And it was so cartoonish, it was so over the top in not a good way. It didn't intrigue me, it just pulled me out of the movie. There are great moments with Batman, great moments with Superman, great moments with Wonder Woman, and they're awesome. But there's also character flaws with them when you're like, that's not very Batman-like, and that's not very Superman-like. And they didn't utilize Wonder Woman as well as I thought they would. It was just sort of like, it would pull you out as well because you'd be like, oh, that's great, and then it would just sort of pull you out. And for me, I love comic books. It's something I grew up upon. For me, it's my religion. It's something that means a lot to me. So for seeing these characters being portrayed in such a good way and yet not, and being conflicted about that, something that I've been looking forward to, seeing them in live action for so long, because it's like seeing them come to life. It made me feel sad. You know, I felt sad at times. I felt sad, you know. I felt sad coming out of the movie. Everything within my heart wanted to love this movie. I wanted to love every aspect of it. And I wanted to come out of there feeling so positive. And the fact that, like, this world, that's the thing, this world they've created for these characters, they all have potential. You can see that they have the essence of the character is there. But this world they've created around the characters kind of diminishes it. It diminishes the hope. I saw it with my dad, and sorry, that's my sister-in-law right there. Sorry. But, hey, that's my sister-in-law. Yeah, we're having a party here tonight, so yeah, that's the only reason I'm doing this. But yeah, my dad is a huge comic book buff. He's the one that he raised me upon that stuff. He grew up with that stuff, and for him it means a lot as well, you know. We saw it together. We saw the ArcLight in Pasadena, and at the end of the movie, the first thing he said to me, and it resonated with me a lot because I felt the same way, but he put it in perfect words, was, "That was a soulless movie." Even me, someone who's read the comic books, sees what they're trying to do, and I was still like, what? No, that's just not cool. I'm not buying that. It wasn't paced well. It was edited poorly. Things seemed like they came out of separate movies and they were just chopped in there, and it bugged me. To me personally, I think the main negative thing about this, after seeing this movie, because I saw Man of Steel and I loved Man of Steel. It had flaws, but I actually thought it was paced well for a film. It had a goal and it met it, and it made sense in the end. This didn't. To me, it seemed like a love letter to Frank Miller. There's lots of things pulled from The Dark Knight that are thrown in there, and it's cool to see. Visually, it's stunning, but it doesn't really make sense. I was hoping for more. Okay, so to make this short now, last thing I'm going to say about this are what I hope for the future. Of course, next it's going to be Suicide Squad. The only saving grace I feel, personally, and it's my own personal opinion, so if you want to shit on me, that's totally fine. I don't give a fuck. But my personal opinion with this is that Suicide Squad is really its own last saving grace for this universe. It needs to be great, it needs to be intriguing, and it needs to be fun, and at least in the end, you need to enjoy it. And that was one of the flaws with this movie, is that when you walk out, you feel conflicted. You were happy to see the characters on the screen together, but you feel conflicted. Because I would love to see more of these characters. I love Marvel, I love DC, I love comic books. But I want to see DC because they're my favorite. I love DC characters. I grew up with them the most. And I feel like I want to see them on the big screen. I want to see more of them on the big screen. They have potential. I know they do. And they can make great films. I just hope they learn from this and grow from that, especially with Wonder Woman and especially from Justice League. I think it's worth going to see in the theaters. I think it's worth paying the money to see it because it's at least contributing to it. Because if you really want to see this universe go forward and you want to see these characters, if you care about them and you want to see them develop and you want to see more of it, I think you should at least contribute to them because they're really at least trying. They're trying to start something more, and I think that's great. That's great, and I appreciate that. So you should at least see the movie. And if I had to rate it, which I don't really give a fuck about ratings, to be honest, I think they're bullshit. So if I had to rate it, it's like, it's a flawed, good movie with characters that are iconic as hell, and yeah, that's great. So yeah, that's what I pretty much have to say. It's iconic, and it's cool to see them on screen together. It has super major flaws. It has great moments, but it's all about setup, pretty much, in the end. If you saw the movie, tell me what you like in the comments. If you haven't seen the movie and you just want to bash me, that's great. And if you have seen the movie and you didn't like it, let me know. I want to know in the comments. Let me know what you think. So again, welcome to the BoomTube. First video ever. My name is Patrick Feliciano. I'll see you next time. So have a good night. Cheers, everybody.